is that which is universalizable, that which is absolute, that which doesn't have to do with the practical anthropological realm, but is only about pure reason. There are two forms of the categorical imperative: to do what is universalizable, to act according to that maxim that you could will to be a universal law, and to always treat people as ends in themselves and never as means to an end. There are, in addition, two different kinds of duty: perfect and imperfect duty. The perfect duty is simply to follow the categorical imperative. The imperfect duty is twofold: to develop your faculties and self-improve, and to help other people. So those are the most important bullet points from the first section here. But I want to say a little bit before we go, to prepare us for the readings for next class. We're still on track on the syllabus. We're looking at, I believe we have 2 essays by Kant, both of which are online. They're on the syllabus. But what we're going to be looking at next class is that question that I brought up a little while ago, right? If the moral law is so completely divorced from our self-interest, if following the categorical imperative can lead to the death of our friends and all sorts of potential suffering and bad, then why should we follow it? Why do we care? Why are we interested in the moral law? Why are we interested in rational morality at all? What's the point? Okay, we have an experience of respect. And that experience of respect tells us, provides us with some sense of obligation and duty to this moral law. Well, so what, right? So what? What's the point? What does this all lead to, right? And the answer to that is going to have to do with the purpose of rationality in general. And Kant, in particular, thinks that the categorical imperative has a use, a kind of practical goal, but not with respect to us as individuals. Kant has a theory of historical teleology, meaning, right, we remember from Aristotle the idea of teleology, the idea that every individual has some purpose, some end or goal, and our life is about achieving that end or goal. That's our telos, our teleology. Kant thinks there is no teleology for an individual human being. He thinks instead there is a teleology to society as a whole, to humanity as a whole, and that the goal of history, or rather the goal of reason, is achieved through historical development rather than individual development. The teleology that matters to human beings is not a personal teleology, but a species level teleology. And so whenever we talk about progress, whenever we talk about historical progress, we are using a Kantian idea. It's not unique to Kant, but Kant, it's an idea that develops in Kant's time period, and one that Kant gives a lot of attention to, and it's one of the best expressions of. So the idea that we are progressing towards something, is our teleology, progressing as a society. And Kant thinks that to speculate about what the purpose of the human species is impossible, right? To speculate about what goal we as a society or as a species are heading to is an act of imagination. We can't know. It's impossible for us to know what the point of this all is. And so we can never say, I know what the practical goal of being human is. However, because Kant thinks all of reality is structured according to rationality, and he thinks the fabric of being is rationality, and he thinks that there is a purpose and teleology to human history, he thinks that whatever goal it is that we are meant to be aiming at can only be achieved by following pure reason. So the reason why we would follow the categorical imperative, the reason why we would follow pure reason, is because it's only by following pure reason that we can believe and think that we are genuinely pursuing our proper goal as human beings. Right? Reason dictates the trajectory of humanity as a whole. And we as individuals can have no practical idea, can't imagine what that goal might be. But because we know that it is guided by reason, wherever we act according to reason, we can be sure that we are furthering that goal. So for Kant, freedom and the good is objectively only ever achievable through rational action, and only rational action has an objectively good goal, an objectively good telos. Okay, so let's call it a day. We're going to pick up this question of historical teleology and how this ethics relates to history a little bit more next class. We're also about to get kicked off of Zoom again. Again, I will post some questions and bullet points from the lecture on Blackboard, and I'll post both of the videos from today. And I'm also going to write your next paper questions, and we can have some discussion on Blackboard about the papers. They're not due until the 23rd, so you'll have some time to work on them. I'm sorry, yeah, the 23rd. So email me questions, or better still, put them on Blackboard, because they will probably be interesting to other people as well. And otherwise, that's it. I hope you guys are managing okay in these wild times. And I will see you on Monday. Sound okay? All right. Until then. Bye, everyone.